Hi there, Warwick Johnston from SunWiz with another fantastic vodcast for you. We've got a special guest for you today. We'll be chatting with in a moment, but say hi, Catherine. This is,
Hi.
say hi again. We didn't get your video then.
Oh, hi. Hi, everyone. Hi, Warwick.
Hi, Catherine. So Catherine's Katherine McConnell from Brighte, fantastic finance provider and doing some big things as we're about to hear. But before we have a chat with Catherine, I'd like to share some interesting analysis that I did the other day for our Insight subscribers. And this is on the Victorian Solar Rebate. Now, the Victorian government released some public information on the volume of rebates that each solar retailer in Victoria was able to access, and we ran some of those figures. And what we saw was that over that period from July to October, that the number of retailers accessing the rebate increased, and each retailer was also able to get a significant increase in the number of rebates they were able to access. But it was interesting that the larger companies actually took a bit of a greater share of those expanded rebates when they started to flow through. So everyone benefited, but some of those benefits flowed more through to the larger retailers. And so some interesting things there. We looked at the 80-20 rule on this data, and what we found is that the 80-20 rule almost held. The top 20% of the market captured 72% of the available rebates. And if you look at the STC market more broadly, that's fairly consistent. But what we did note was that it seemed that the large retailers weren't doing as well in terms of capturing market share as they do in the broader national market. So it's a fairly competitive market down here. Despite some retailers missing out, obviously, in early months, that seems to have been addressed, and quite competitive access to those tenders, so those rebates. What's interesting is this chart shows you those lists of, I'll zoom in there for you, the list of number of rebates received on a monthly basis for each of those retailers. And what's interesting when you look at this is, number one was Solar Miner. Number two is B Solar Holdings. Then you've got Deloitte Solar, and then Solar Gain, Voxland, Origin, Kohler Solar, Hello, also Edge Group. So there's some familiar names there, but in the top five, there's some unfamiliar names. And so that is kind of perhaps, and Nigel Morris did some analysis of this to suggest that some of these were acting as sales agents for other companies, perhaps. So interesting data there, and interesting to see how that evolves also with some of the changes to the program as well coming up. Worth noting, of course, well, not of course, but I'm pretty excited that I was appointed to the Victorian Government's Industry and Consumer Reference Group. So I am actually assisting the Victorian Government to make the program better, and I'm very grateful and honoured to be invited there. This chart shows the public data for the evolution of the number of rebates for each company, and you can see there's quite a significant month-to-month variation. Some companies like B Solar coming from very little numbers to ramp up rapidly, some leaving it quite late and not joining and not being successful in a program like Hello Solar in the first couple of months before scaling up quite rapidly, and others actually reducing the amount of rebates they access. So quite a variation there in people's experience. So I'll leave the Victorian data there for the moment because we've got somebody interesting to speak with. Katherine McConnell from Brighte. Hi and welcome.
Hi, Warwick. Lovely to be here. Thank you.
Now, I've known you for a couple of years, but I don't expect that everyone knows you. You've got a pretty impressive heritage. Can you give us some of the career highlights so that we can understand who we're speaking with?
Okay. Well, I uni, so I did, economics, Japanese, got into Macquarie Bank pretty early on in my career, and I worked there for 14 years, and then also had a bit of a time where I left and went to government. So I worked in Treasury, Competition Consumer Policy, Department of Finance. So I have a bit of experience in government, consumer policy, but largely my career has been at Macquarie Bank. So in equipment finance, asset finance, and actually as a salesperson primarily. And so whilst I was at Macquarie, I was able to move into some different areas, but the area that I really loved the most was when I got the opportunity to look at some solutions around energy financing. And so whilst I was there, I was able to create some products specifically for commercial solar finance and for consumer solar finance. And so in doing that, I found that there was still a lot more opportunity in the market.
And so why was it then that you started Brighte, your own company?
So I felt that there was a bigger problem, and there were lots of people that had a need for finance, and so that was specifically the solar installers and the vendors, and they had a need and they weren't able to access fast, convenient finance at the point of sale. And then as a consumer of solar and a purchaser of batteries in 2015, I identified that for me, the point that I would need to access finance, for these purchases was in home, and it was a really large purchase price. And there was no one doing a really good job of that at the point of sale. Everyone was focusing online, in store, and lower value purchases. And so I just saw the opportunity to use my experience, my skills, personal interest in the area, and also relationships that I had from being a salesperson, with different solar installers and other businesses. So pulled that all together, used the first $1 million from redrew on my home loan and got the house revalued, redrew and put the first $1 million in, and then got the business built from nothing. And, we started trading in around October 2016.
Okay, and some impressive numbers already in the interim period. We'll come to some of the awards that you've got, give us an idea of the magnitude of what's happened since then.
So in 3 years, we've received over $400 million of, credit applications from over 40,000 customers, and we're working with over 4,500 sales agents who offer Brighte at the point of sale. And so that is in energy primarily, but we're also focused on sustainable and comfortable homes. So we work with businesses that provide different home improvements. So it's air conditioning, roofing, flooring. We even do pools and, synthetic grass. So it's quite a broad space, but what these businesses have in common is they're in-home. They're selling a purchase to someone, who's largely at home, and it's a higher value purchase. And so it's the same type of sales environment, really similar bespoke product that's being purchased. It's not walking into Harvey Norman, picking it up, paying for it at the counter and walking out. This is something that has a high level of personalization, customization, and often a delay between, the yes, I'm going to buy it, and the moment where the goods are installed and it starts delivering a benefit. And that delay creates cash flow issues for those businesses. And so we're able to solve problems for those businesses around access to cash flow, and we're also able to solve problems for those consumers who need point of sale finance that's fast, easy and affordable. So, solving problems for two different parts of the market.
Okay, and look, there's been some increased scrutiny recently upon the finance sector, and then you've got the approved solar retailer code evolving into the new energy technology consumer code. How are these things going to impact your business and also the broader business of providing consumer finance in the solar industry?
Yeah, no work. That's a great question. I've set this business up to be a 100-year business. So that's our plan, to make it a 100-year business. And I think you always have to preempt regulatory change. Having 94% of our business to date in consumer solar finance, we've got different government policies, political agendas. So definitely we have thought through what products we need to best equip us for the future. So we have 2 products on the market. One's a buy now, pay later product, and one's a personal loan product. And so that gives us a lot of, defensiveness in the business, and, how we can handle, different policies that may be put in place that may favour a personal loan or a product with a credit license. The reality is we've done, lots of work with our customers, be it consumers and vendors, and consumers love buy now, pay later. they find it transparent. They find it, a high level of trust with the provider. They find it convenient, and they definitely think it's the new and preferred way to pay. So I think we have a product to really work with the regulators, and the Buy Now Pay Later is a new product, and we continue to work with the regulators. We continue to provide a transparent product to our customers, and but there's no denying that it's the preferred way to pay.
Interesting. And look, it sounds like you've got a pretty sophisticated business there. From my understanding, it's been externally recognised as being pretty successful as well. So, tell us about some of the most recent announcement. But before you tell us about that one, there have been a few other accolades along the way.
Okay, so I've just pulled up we just had my CV updated actually, because there've been some really fantastic wins that the business, has been recognised for. And so it's not just myself, we've got, now 100 people within the business. So a huge shout out to my team at Brighte, who just have fantastic skills and have built, together with me, something from nothing. But, we've won different awards such as so the best use of AI in fintech, so FinTech Awards 2019, best fintech bank collaboration under in a securitization warehouse. So that vehicle's about $160 million now. We've also got a funding arrangement with Bank of Queensland. So that was an acknowledgement of the large amount of debt capital that we've raised. And so FinTech Australia, 2018 Outstanding FinTech Leader of the Year. We were the winner of that. That year we won FinTech Innovation in Lending, FemTech Leader of the Year. There's not a lot of females raising capital, and there's not a lot of females as CEOs of finance companies. So FinTech Business Excellence. So it's lots of different awards in the FinTech space, AI space as well. And also really excited, I was recognised by my university with an alumni award, so a finalist for innovation and entrepreneurship. So that was University of Wollongong. But the most exciting awards were definitely the Deloitte, the Deloitte Awards, in the last month that, we took out a really, some great recognition.
Tell us what they are.
Okay, so Deloitte Technology Fast 50. So what they do is they take your revenue, so audited accounts over the last 3 years, and so they calculate your rate of revenue growth. And so we took second overall in Australia, and so our rate of revenue growth was 8,881% over the last 3 years. And so that was their number, on audited accounts. So, seeing that huge number, I understand why the business is just so exhausted coming into Christmas, because it's just a really busy, we're doing so much. But so we got second overall in Australia, and then I was awarded fastest female. So I won the fastest female category in Australia. So being recognised as the fastest female growth country in Australia. And then it was even more exciting, when we were contacted that they have an Asia Pacific award. So that's the Tech Fast 500. And we actually won fourth. So we took out fourth place. And so that's in Asia, China, Japan, Korea, Singapore, Vietnam, India, and in all of those regions we were recognised as the fourth highest growth, in revenue, which was just, amazing acknowledgement.
Look, it's fantastic to hear that. I'm really excited when solar businesses are successful, and it's very impressive what you've been able to accomplish. So congratulations, and thrilled for you. Tell us if somebody out there is listening and wants to become a vendor of your consumer finance. I understand you can also do commercial finance as well.
So come to our website, Brighte, brighte.com.au. and you can get accredited. So come to the section vendors, get accredited now, and sign up to Brighte. It's a pretty easy process to sign up. We do a quick review on everyone that we work with, and so that's just to ensure we're dealing with the best businesses around the country. So if you're accredited by us, it's a tick of approval, and we provide you fantastic training. So you can download our app, and we give you great training. For instance, we've got a webinar we're doing on the new energy tech code. So everyone who works with us gets up-to-date material on the industry, and just to ensure they're best equipped to offer finance at the point of sale. And then you'll be ready to go. And when you're ready to go, that means you can start increasing your sales by increasing your business conversions at the point of sale and giving your customers what they need. And that's removing the upfront costs to the purchase and allowing them to buy what they need today and pay over time. So, we see it as a real partnership and collaboration with the vendors that we work with. And our job is to make them happy and to make them increase their sales. So sign up today. And we'd love to support you grow your business. So brighte.com.au.
That's Brighte with an E. Brighte with an E. Thanks, Katherine. And look, similarly, SunWiz is also all about helping solar businesses to succeed. So look out for our products in the new year. We will be helping solar businesses increase their organic lead and conversion, and also doing some benchmarking on what conversion rates they're doing and at what price and profitability. So if you want to build your business profitably, then very interested in having you as a customer as well. Look, it's been a fantastic year, busy year for everybody. I hope everyone has a fantastic, wonderful break. And again, thank you, Katherine, for joining us on today's podcast.
Thanks so much for having me, Warwick. Have a great Christmas.
You too. Bye.